Bonjour, Yen Koen, and today we're going to review the entry of Malta at Eurovision 2023, the Busker with the song Dance, Our Own Party.
But hey, wait, what you say? Do you wanna dance?
Malta picked their Eurovision entry this year with the national final with the Malta Eurovision Song Contest, or MESC in short, consisting out of 3 quarterfinals, 1 semifinal and 1 grand final, which isn't really how maths work, but you know, Malta's just doing their thing, I guess. Maybe that is how maths work in Malta. One of the participants this year, Aiden, was disqualified from participating in this national final. At first, it was not really clear why he was disqualified, because the only explanation given at first was unauthorized social media posts, but later it turned out that the rules stated that any promotional posts about the artist's entries were not allowed, which Aiden did post to his Instagram. He made an Instagram post with the choreography of his performance in it, which was a part of the entry that was not yet made public by the Maltese broadcaster, so he was disqualified. He did get to perform as an interval act in the grand final of the national final though, but he was not allowed to perform his song with which he would have competed in this year's national final, Regina, but he did perform his entry with which he competed last year, Ritmo, which was a big fan favorite to win the national final last year. In the end, the Busker won the national final with the song Dance Our Own Party, which is basically a song about wanting to be at home and have your own kind of party instead of being at some party you actually don't really want to be. Hence the phrase, I feel better in my sweater. Basically just partying on your own at your own place. I think the disqualification situation was a bit weird, like the way it was handled, and it was at first not really clear why Aiden was disqualified. And you know, a post of a choreography doesn't really feel like such a big violation of the rules, but I do get how in such a small country as Malta, an artist with a big following promoting his entry in some sort of way could influence the results, which is why he would have to be disqualified. I do kind of get what the reason is behind it, but I do think it's unfortunate that it went down this way. Like, it could cause some unfairness in the voting. I do hope that Aiden returns sometime in the future again though, because I did really like his entry, Ritmo, from last year. I wasn't really that big of a fan of his entry with this year, but I do really like the idea that we could maybe have a song with Maltese in it again on the Eurovision stage. And both of Aidan's entries, or entry and potential entry, had Maltese lyrics in them. So I think it's very possible that if Aiden competes again, it will be with the song Maltese, and he has a pretty big chance of winning, I think. Out of the songs that were still competing though, my biggest favorite was Brooke with Checkmate. I really want to see Brooke on the Eurovision stage someday, because this was her 4th attempt to represent Malta, and I think she really deserves to be on the Eurovision stage someday, because I think pretty much all of her entries with which she tried to compete were Eurovision worthy. But I'm also happy with the Busker winning, because I definitely do not dislike this entry. I think it's nice that Malta is sending an entry which is fully written and composed by a Maltese artist. It doesn't really have that feeling that it was bought from another country, or that songwriters from another country have made this for a Maltese artist, you know? Like, it does not have the feeling of a song that's been rejected by a national final from a different country and that it now competes for Malta, you know what I mean? It sounds authentic to the artist, which I like. Also, the song is pretty catchy. Like, it has 3 catchy parts, like the I feel better in my sweater part, the hey do you wanna dance, and the saxophone part, which I all like. Like, they're all equally catchy. The song is really a mood booster in my opinion. It's really happy, and it's also this kind of feel-good song. I do think if you look at the national final performance, it does need some tweaking. I hope not all of the budget went into the music video, because I think a lot of work and budget went into the music video, but I do really hope the staging will be at least as good as the music video and better than the national final performance. I do really like that you could see past Maltese Eurovision participants in the national final performance. I don't know if they're going to do that on the Eurovision stage though. Despite all that, I do have to say that I'm kind of scared of Malta's qualifying chances. First of all, they're competing in the first semi-final, which is the strong one this year out of the 2. Like, it's a really strong semi-final. They're also the 2nd entry in the running order to perform, which is not really a spot that has scored well with televoters in the history of the semi-finals. So if you look at that, that's not really hopeful. And also if you take into account that Malta and televotes are not really the best friends at Eurovision, I guess you could say, it makes me feel like this is an entry that does not really have a qualification in the cards this year. Unfortunately though, because I do really like this entry for Malta. Miracles can still happen. Maybe the Eurovision audience at home will really like this and vote for this, but right now I would say that Malta would be a non-qualifier, but I do hope they will qualify. So to conclude, I like Malta's entry this year. I think it's a real mood booster, but I do think they have a competition in the first semifinal in combination with the semifinal running order and the fact that the televotes have not really always been that friendly to Malta, I guess you could say, makes me think that Malta unfortunately probably does not really have too big of a chance of qualifying this year, but I do hope they will. And that's about all for now. What do you think of Dance, Our Own Party? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you liked this video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully until next time. Ciao!